India is one of those great countries that has been endowed with a vibrant press long before it became independent and democratic. It was the press and the profession of law that spearheaded the movement for freedom, along with those who courted jail. The power of the media has never been more evident than September 2010. This power that the media has acquired unto itself immediately bestows upon itself the responsibility that somebody like Feroz Gandhi would have to have when damning his own government on the floor. It brings upon itself a certain amount of circumspection before firing the first bullet. Let us take a look at an obscure example of one part of the media. I am purposely avoiding getting into confrontations with my friends on the stage, so I'll pick on one on which none of them are involved. This is about the social media. What started in the social media about a target on northeastern students in Bangalore. The city of choice was Bangalore. The target was Northeast. Not that the Northeast is not targeted in Delhi, it is targeted very, very reprehensibly in the city of Delhi. But it was just lasted 3 days. In 3 days, enough mayhem was caused. What the print and the electronic media reported was people from the Northeast being bundled like cattle through the windows into trains away to safety. Imagine the amount of trauma it's caused those families. And even the slightest attempt to put in some discipline on the air was met with a tremendous amount of disproportionate resistance. I am not in favor of control. Genetically, I am not in favor of control. It doesn't matter what post one is in. But imagine the power of the simple tweet and the simple SMS versus the power of causing harm. The same thing occurs on a daily basis. So when we talk of the newfound power of the media, we must remember today that we are at the crossroads. A large part of India believes, and rightly so, I belong to most of that school of belief, that the executive is at fault. It is at fault because of some of its genetic programming, some of its attitudinal problems, some of its structural engineering. The legislature is not above board, or at least many of the members are not above board. This is what many people feel. The judiciary is often felt as something that slows down justice. I am talking of popular perceptions. If that is a state of angst about the three major pillars of democracy, the press, media in all its forms, print, electronic, radio, even social media, new media, was taken to be the articulator, the aggregator of such opinion, so that they be placed before those who decide. But then there is a relationship that has been coming over the years that make many people, many common citizens wonder whether that degree of detachment is there. When a member of the press is also a member of a political party, when a member of a political party starts 14 TV channels in a southern state and owns 4 newspapers in that state, do we expect a fair, does he do it for the purpose of presenting a fair, unbiased news, or does he do it for the sake of what he believes is right? So here are these questions that come in with the proliferation of the media, with the increasing power, the muscle power that the media has. with the voice and the imagination of India that the media has captured, it has also acquired and magnetized unto itself a responsibility for which it may not have been fully prepared. Now, these are questions that I would ask my worthy speakers here. They are all absolutely eminent persons. As I said, their eminence would lie in my decimation. But it may not be that easy because most of them know me. I don't die that easy. We'll give the fact. But the whole idea is, let us open up this debate, because remember, if this one also fails, if this one also caves in, if the fourth estate caves in along with the other three, we can see ahead of us something of an unrestricted eruption of public angst that defies the very basis of a constitutional and a proper method of governance. Government or governance cannot be decided on the streets. We see often examples of lynching, but that is not a way a civilized government functions, however much be the anger one may have against one's action. So the three, or rather four, sorry, I forgot, Anshuma. We thank you for joining, because we were desperately looking for somebody who has something to do with the print. Though I dare say, if I know all three of my worthy colleagues here, they also have a finger in everything else, including, I think you have some Naam and Benami interest in the print also. The way they proliferate now, so that's another question. When we talk about proliferation from one side to the other, no, it's not there, but will come tomorrow, I'm sure. So, on the one hand, the citizen asks this question: are we now in the hands of our advocate, or are we heading towards a system where we free ourselves from the tentacles of misgovernance by, let us say, the middle level, by the Patwari and Tehsildar, only to land up in a syndrome where you are again a victim of the same person who saved you earlier. These are the questions that are open to us, and I would start by requesting Sunil, would like to start? Huh? Oh, no. Suhaji will have the last. Huh? Okay. I'll ask you.
Senior.
That's why I said.
Person who started the television in India. So.
Doordarshan started television in India.
That's why she said that.
No, I think Yaddas ke liye Tripurari Sharan, ये क्या हो रहा? ये क्या हो रहा?
I will flag this point against Atul Bhai.
No, but what we are trying to say, Doordarshan started it, maybe it finished it, but